Hi, you must be Mary?
Yes, I am.
Mary, nice to meet you. Do you mind if I just take a minute and look over the intake sheet?
I don't care, that's fine.
Mary, it looks like you're 15.
Mm-hmm.
Are your parents here with you for the
No,
counseling session?
no,
Okay, okay. So they're not with you?
no.
And it looks like for insurance you have Medicaid.
Yes, we don't have much money at all.
How did you get here today, Mary?
I walked to the bus stop and then took the bus.
Wow. So how can I be helpful?
Well, I feel so anxious lately. I don't know what to do. I feel so anxious, and my guidance counselor has been very worried about me. And she suggested that I see somebody.
So you were talking to your guidance counselor about the anxiety?
Mm-hmm.
How bad is the anxiety?
Well, I guess she's concerned because I used to be a really good student, and now my grades are going down, and I used to be involved in sports, and I just don't have any interest in that anymore.
So a lot's changing.
Mm-hmm.
Have you been anxious for a long time, Mary?
No, haven't really been anxious. I mean, I'm not usually anxious. I feel like I've been anxious maybe for the last couple of months or so.
Really? So throughout your high school, you haven't really felt much anxiety?
No, no. I usually have a lot of friends. I get along with people. Just the last couple of months, I've been feeling really anxious.
And does anxiety run in your family?
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. My mother gets nervous sometimes,
But this is kind of a surprise to you that all of a sudden you're not doing well in school, you're not focused on sports, you're pulling back from your friends, teachers and your guidance counselor are
very
worried.
worried.
Yeah. Are you able to sleep at night?
I'm having a hard time sleeping.
And has your appetite changed?
I've been a little sick.
Really? Okay. So you're nauseous a lot. So do you have a theory why all of a sudden, just a couple of months ago, you started having all this anxiety and panic when you...
All right, I guess, I don't know, I haven't told anybody. I think I'm pregnant.
Oh. So you're a couple months into pregnancy. Do your parents know?
No, nobody knows.
Oh.
Nobody knows.
Yeah, no wonder you're anxious. So you're pregnant, you must be terrified.
I'm really scared. I don't know what to do. I don't know who to talk to. I don't know what to do.
Have you gone to Planned Parenthood?
No, I haven't done anything.
No. So people in school don't know?
My boyfriend doesn't
Your
know.
boyfriend doesn't know?
No.
Wow. So you're holding this all on your own? Do you plan on telling your parents?
I don't know what to do. I don't know. I guess I have to at some point, but I'm really, really scared. I'm really scared. I'm so scared.
Sounds like a lot. And your boyfriend's name?
Joey.
Joey. And how is Joey gonna...
Joey is gonna flip out.
Yes.
Joey is gonna flip out.
He doesn't want a child, I guess, in high school, right?
No.
Oh,
I don't know what I'm gonna do about Joey.
that's tough. And yet he's the father of...
No, he is not father.
Oh. This is pretty complicated. So you were cheating on Joey with
I
somebody else?
wasn't, no.
What do you mean now?
Oh, wow. Okay. I think this is God's child. I am not kidding you. I'm not kidding you.
Mary.
No, I knew, no.
Mary, I understand that being pregnant when you have a boyfriend by somebody else is really
No,
embarrassing.
you don't get it. You don't
But
get
you
it.
don't need to say that God is the father of the child. That's a...
I believe God is the Father. I know nobody's going to believe me. Nobody's going to see. I can see it think I'm crazy.
Well, it's my job to try to help you, Mary. And so let me just ask you a few other questions. Have you had, I don't want this to sound wrong, but have you had delusions in the past?
No.
Have you heard voices?
No.
Huh.
No, I had a dream.
Tell me about the dream.
I had a dream that there was an angel, and the angel said that I was going to be pregnant. I don't even want to look at your face because I know what you're thinking.
So in the dream, an angel told you you would be pregnant by God.
This is what I'm talking about. I shouldn't have said anything.
Mary, I'm a little uneasy with this. I'm wondering, I have a colleague who's a psychiatrist, and I'm wondering if we should consider medication.
No, I don't want medication. I shouldn't have come here. This is ridiculous. I shouldn't have come here. Okay, I don't know what to do. Nobody will believe me, and I knew you wouldn't believe me. No, I don't want medication. I don't want to go to a psychiatrist. No, I shouldn't have come here.
So you really believe this pregnancy
Mm-hmm.
is from God?
Yes.
And you don't think I can help you?
No.
Mary, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt your session, but you should not leave your psychotherapy session door open. Mary, I'm a administrator on the street, and I heard that I just happened to overhear your frustration, and I was wondering if you might want to hear a different perspective on it.
Yes.
Because I think maybe
Do you believe me?
you're not crazy.
Wow.
And I know a lot of people think that you're crazy. If you say that your vision's from God, you must be crazy. But the Bible tells me that you're not the only person this has ever happened to. That God has a history of showing up for people in very strange ways. So you talked about your vision with the angel. An angel showed up and told you this.
Mm-hmm.
This isn't the only time that has happened.
Really?
And only you can know what's true about what you've done. You're the only one who knows. So if you know that you're not doing anything that would make you pregnant, an angel showed up and you're pregnant, I think you might want to entertain the possibility that God has shown up in an unexpected way for you. How does that make you feel?
Much relieved.
Does that help?
Absolutely. Thank you.
I'm glad. I hope it helps. Come talk to me anytime you want.
Thank you. All right. And now, there was really a Mary, and Mary's response to, I'm just going to read Mary's response after she had some time to digest all of this. And this comes from Luke 1. My soul magnifies the Lord, and my spirit rejoices in God, my Savior. For he has looked on the humble estate of his servant. For behold, from now on all generations will call me blessed. For he who is mighty has done great things for me, and holy is his name. And his mercy is for those who fear him from generation to generation. He has shown strength with his arm. He has scattered the proud in the thoughts of their hearts. He has brought down the mighty from their thrones and exalted those of humble estate. He has filled the hungry with good things, and the rich he has sent away empty. He has helped his servant Israel in remembrance of his mercy, as he spoke to our fathers, to Abraham, and to his offspring forever.
It was a lot more common for people to sort of experience visions and attribute them to religious things, and when there were not actually psychotherapists. I think Mary's family probably still thought that she was nuts for quite some time. And Joseph had to have his own vision to be convinced that this was not a complete hoax and that she was not cheating on him and feeding him some kind of line. So there's this strange thing that goes on with us when we talk about visions and God really becoming apparent, because I think that apparent. I didn't mean that pun. Apparent and apparent. So this thing that happens where we're not really sure, because most of the people we know who talk about God being really tangible to them are in fact in need of medication. So how do you balance out this great story that we have, sort of part of the ultimate story of our faith, which involves this miraculous event and this woman whose life is completely disrupted by God? So in thinking about this, I thought about another sort of unlikely case that's more recent. There's a woman named Sarah Miles, and she wrote a book called Take This Bread, which I cannot recommend enough to anyone. And she was an atheist, strongly atheist, and pretty much didn't have any religious friends. Her family was atheist. She had no interest in spirituality. Was living in San Francisco and sort of doing her secular life as a restaurant cook and not really thinking about anything religious at all. And then one morning, for what she describes as no earthly reason, wandered into a church, which is a strange thing for an atheist to do. She says she was not interested in becoming a Christian, or as she thought of it, a religious nut. And this is what she says about that experience. One early cloudy morning when I was 46, I walked into a church, ate a piece of bread, took a sip of wine, a routine Sunday activity for tens of millions of Americans, except that until that moment, I'd led a thoroughly secular life. At best, indifferent to religion, more often appalled by its fundamentalist crusades. This was my first communion, and it changed everything. Eating Jesus as I did that day, to my great astonishment, led me against all my expectations to a faith that I had scorned and to a work that I had never imagined. The mysterious sacrament turned out to be not a symbolic wafer at all, but actual food. Indeed, the bread of life. In that shocking moment of communion, filled with a deep desire to reach for and become part of a body, I realized what I had been doing with my life all along was what I was meant to do: feed people. And she, in this one bite of bread and one sip of wine, became an entirely different person, started a food pantry based around the same communion table where she had taken that first communion. Sort of threw herself headlong into the life of the church. And a lot of this book is her stories of her friends and family reacting to her and believing that she's become a religious nut. So for us, as we encounter God, I think sometimes we have to, I certainly have no opponent of psychotherapy and sometimes of medication, but we have to be aware that God has a possibility of doing things in our lives that look a little lunatic-y to other people and that change us in ways that may make us look nuts, but may be exactly what we are meant to do and who we are meant to be. She goes on to say, as I took communion, I passed the bread to others, and then I kept going, compelled to find new ways to share what I'd experienced. So we are going to gather around this table and in the same way receive food from God, receive food from one another, and feed each other. So if you are comfortable taking communion, if you would come forward and stand around the table.